What if I told you that one of the most astonishing stories in the Bible begins with a command so shocking it would make anyone question everything they thought they knew about faith, love, and obedience? The prophet Hosea was told by God to marry Gomer, a woman known as a prostitute, a choice that defied social norms, human logic, and even the expectations of a holy messenger. But this was not just a personal assignment. It was a living, breathing metaphor for Israel's spiritual unfaithfulness. A divine illustration of how far a people could stray from the God who loved them. Imagine the weight of that moment. Hosea, chosen by God to speak truth to a nation, is asked to live a story that mirrors the heartbreak of God's own heart. Through this unusual marriage, every act, every betrayal, and every moment of forgiveness would become a message far greater than words alone could convey. It is a story of love that refuses to give up, of mercy that stretches beyond human understanding, and of a covenantal relationship that withstands betrayal. As we journey into the life of Hosea and the lessons hidden within his marriage to Gomer, you will see that this story is not just about ancient Israel. It is a mirror reflecting timeless truths about faith, grace, and redemption that still resonate today. Whether you have experienced heartbreak, struggled with forgiveness, or questioned God's plan for your life, there is something in Hosea's story for you. Before we dive deeper, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you won't miss any of the incredible insights we uncover together. If this story sparks something in your heart, leave a comment, give a thumbs up, and share this video with friends who are ready to explore the transformative power of God's love. Get ready, because the journey ahead is nothing short of extraordinary. As Hosea embraced the divine command to marry Gomer, he stepped into a life that would blur the line between personal agony and prophetic mission. A life where his household itself became a canvas for God's message to Israel. From the very beginning, Gomer's unfaithfulness was not simply a private heartbreak. It was a mirror reflecting the deeper spiritual betrayal of an entire nation. A betrayal that reached into the heart of the covenant between God and his people. Every act of her wandering, every moment she turned from Hosea's love, echoed the ways in which Israel had abandoned their devotion, chasing after idols and placing their trust in hollow promises of power, wealth, and foreign alliances. It was not just infidelity. It was a living illustration of spiritual adultery. A vivid demonstration that faith could be professed with the lips while the heart wandered far away. As the years unfolded, the children born to Hosea and Gomer became living symbols of God's warning. Each name a proclamation of judgment and the consequences of abandoning divine guidance. Their first son, Jezreel, carried a name steeped in history and significance. A reminder of past bloodshed and a prophetic signal of future reckoning. Jezreel's name was a narrative in itself, telling of the looming judgment that would follow the nation's rebellion. A stark declaration that the covenant they had once embraced was not to be taken lightly. When their daughter came into the world, her name, Lorama, proclaimed a harsh truth: no mercy. A reflection of the severity of turning away from God, yet also a testament to the clarity of divine justice. In a society accustomed to ritual and superficial worship, these names were living sermons, impossible to ignore. Each birth a proclamation that Israel's spiritual path was diverging dangerously from the covenantal promises made long ago. Their youngest child, Lo-Ami, whose name meant not my people, carried the heaviest weight of all. A declaration that the bond between Creator and people had been fractured by unfaithfulness and idolatry. Through Hosea's obedience in naming his children as instructed, the private anguish of a prophet's home became inseparable from the public message. Intertwining the personal with the prophetic, Gomer's choices mirrored Israel's own, her betrayals an intimate portrayal of the nation's spiritual wandering. Yet, amid the sorrow and judgment embedded in each name, there lingered a quiet undercurrent of hope, a subtle promise that even in the depths of rebellion, recognition, repentance, and restoration were not beyond reach. The story of Hosea and Gomer teaches that divine communication is not always delivered through proclamations from a pulpit or the pages of Scripture alone. Sometimes it is lived, breathed, and embodied in the painful rhythms of life. The prophet's role extended beyond words. He became a living metaphor for God's enduring love, a witness to the heartbreak of abandonment, and a participant in the sorrow of those who had strayed. Gomer's unfaithfulness and the symbolic names of their children did more than convey punishment, they made tangible the spiritual consequences of choices. The profound connection between love and responsibility, and the inescapable reality that turning from the divine carries both visible and unseen weight. In this narrative, history, prophecy, and human emotion converge, creating a tapestry that teaches, warns, and ultimately points toward the possibility of restoration, showing that even in the harshest judgments, the depth of divine love remains unwavering, persistent, and transformative. Even as Gomer wandered repeatedly, turning away from the home she shared with Hosea and the love that had been entrusted to her, the prophet's devotion never wavered, a living testament to the extraordinary endurance of divine compassion. Hosea's love was not the fleeting affection of human impulse, nor was it conditional upon reciprocity or perfection. It was a deliberate, sacrificial commitment that mirrored the way God relentlessly pursued the hearts of his people, even when they strayed into idolatry and rebellion. Every act of reconciliation, every patient attempt to restore Gomer to the security of their household, carried the weight of a divine message, showing that forgiveness is not merely a moral concept but a lived reality, demanding persistence, courage, and an openness to pain that transforms both the giver and the receiver. In the quiet moments when Gomer returned, hesitant and uncertain, Hosea did not call or retreat. He embraced her, spoke to her with gentle authority, and reminded her, through action rather than words alone, that love's power lies not in judgment but in steadfast presence, in the willingness to bear the burdens of another's failings without losing one's own integrity or faith. This relentless love reflected a broader truth that extended far beyond the walls of their home. The covenantal relationship between God and Israel was not a conditional transaction but a profound bond, capable of withstanding betrayal, misunderstanding, and wandering hearts. Just as Hosea's forgiveness restored the possibility of trust within his family, God's pursuit offered the nation repeated opportunities to turn back from idolatry, to recognize their missteps, and to realign themselves with the principles of justice, mercy, and devotion. Each encounter between Hosea and Gomer became a microcosm of this divine pattern, where reconciliation was painstaking, gradual, and deeply transformative, illustrating that true restoration is never instant or superficial but arises from sustained commitment, empathy, and courage. The prophet's life demonstrated that love which endures betrayal does not simply tolerate wrongdoing, it seeks to redeem, to heal, and to awaken the conscience of those who have strayed, offering a path back to wholeness that is both humbling and inspiring. Through the lens of Hosea's experience, one sees that divine love is neither passive nor abstract. It manifests in patience that persists against all odds, in forgiveness that acknowledges the depth of human frailty without excusing it, and in the courage to remain present when rejection is constant. Each act of mercy, each moment of restored trust between Hosea and Gomer, reverberated with spiritual significance, serving as a living parable for a nation that had repeatedly broken faith. The household of Hosea became a theater of divine pedagogy, where love was both teacher and lesson, where the endurance of one man's heart mirrored the inexhaustible mercy of God, and where the painful reality of unfaithfulness was transformed into a vivid testament to hope, renewal, and reconciliation. In witnessing Hosea's unwavering devotion, The story conveys that the essence of divine pursuit is not punitive but restorative, that love's power lies in its constancy and depth, and that even amid repeated betrayal, the transformative potential of sacrificial love can awaken understanding, reshape hearts, and ultimately guide a wayward people back toward fidelity, connection, and spiritual awakening, revealing that true love, when lived fully, bears witness to the enduring presence of grace in the most challenging of circumstances. As Gomer wandered through the consequences of her choices, repeatedly drawn away by impulses that led her from the home she shared with Hosea, the prophet's response was neither anger nor abandonment, but a steady, purposeful pursuit of restoration that mirrored the divine pattern of mercy woven throughout the history of Israel. Hosea's actions went far beyond mere forgiveness. They were acts of redemption, carefully measured yet overflowing with compassion, each gesture carrying the weight of a deeper spiritual truth, that even in the face of betrayal, love does not capitulate but seeks to restore what was broken, anticipating a greater reconciliation that would ultimately find its fullest expression in the coming of Christ. In reclaiming Gomer, Hosea demonstrated the profound principle that covenantal love is not contingent upon perfection or obedience, but is rooted in steadfast commitment and the willingness to endure hardship for the sake of another, revealing that true restoration requires both patience and courage, as well as a vision that sees beyond present failings to the potential for renewal and transformation. The home that once witnessed estrangement and sorrow became a living testament to hope, illustrating that judgment, though real and necessary, is never the final word. Rather, it sets the stage for reconciliation and growth, teaching that the consequences of turning away are meant not solely to punish, but to awaken awareness and prepare the heart for a return to fidelity and love. Hosea's redemptive pursuit illuminated the ways in which divine love operates. It seeks to reclaim, to heal, and to invite those who have strayed into a restored relationship, offering a path that transforms shame into dignity and estrangement into intimate connection. Each moment of Gomer's reluctant return, each hesitant step toward renewed trust, carried with it a spiritual resonance that echoed far beyond their household, serving as a parable for the broader covenant between God and His people, showing that even the most fractured relationships can become conduits of grace when met with unwavering commitment and sacrificial love. Through the unfolding of this narrative, it becomes clear that the story of Hosea and Gomer is more than an account of personal fidelity. It is a living symbol of divine redemption, foreshadowing the ultimate restoration that would come through Christ, who embodies the fullness of mercy, forgiveness, and transformative love. Hosea's life, marked by persistent compassion and courageous reconciliation, demonstrates that hope persists even after judgment, that restoration is always possible when love remains steadfast, and that covenantal bonds, though tested by betrayal and human frailty, are designed to endure, to heal, and to awaken the soul to a higher understanding of grace. The narrative invites reflection on the enduring power of redemption, showing that even in the midst of repeated unfaithfulness, love that refuses to yield can restore not only relationships but also purpose, identity, and faith, offering a vision of hope that transcends human limitation and points toward a divine promise that reconciliation, renewal, and covenantal fidelity are always within reach for those willing to embrace it, illuminating the profound truth that through enduring love and redemptive action, the broken can be made whole, and the estranged can be brought back into a life marked by dignity, trust, and divine connection. As we reach the conclusion of this extraordinary story, the life of Hosea and Gomer stands as a timeless testament to the profound depths of divine mercy and the enduring power of love that refuses to give up, even in the face of repeated betrayal. Their journey, filled with pain, unfaithfulness, and reconciliation, mirrors the human experience in ways that resonate across centuries, reminding us that life is rarely a straight path and that mistakes, wrong turns, and moments of weakness are part of our shared human condition. Yet within this reality, the story shows us that love, when anchored in commitment, compassion, and forgiveness, has the power to transform not only relationships but also hearts, communities, and lives. Hosea's unwavering devotion to Gomer reflects how God's pursuit of his people is relentless and sacrificial, demonstrating that forgiveness is not passive but active, requiring courage, patience, and a willingness to see potential beyond failure. This narrative also calls us to reflect on our own lives and the ways in which we respond to others who stray, whether through disappointment, rebellion, or hurt. It challenges us to extend grace, to embrace reconciliation, and to seek restoration even when it seems difficult or undeserved. The symbolism embedded in their story, the unfaithfulness of Gomer as a mirror of Israel's spiritual wanderings. The redemption Hosea offers as a reflection of God's covenantal love invites us to see beyond the surface of human relationships and into the deeper spiritual truths that guide our moral and ethical lives. It encourages a faith that is resilient, a forgiveness that is transformative, and an obedience that is grounded not in fear but in love and understanding. Ultimately, the story of Hosea and Gomer leaves us with hope and inspiration, showing that no matter how far one may wander, restoration is always possible through love that persists, pursues, and redeems. It is a reminder that God's mercy is greater than our failures, that redemption is available to all who seek it, and that enduring love has the power to heal wounds, restore trust, and renew hearts. As you reflect on this story, may it inspire you to practice compassion in your own life, to forgive freely, and to embrace the transformative power of love in every relationship and situation. Thank you so much for joining us in exploring this remarkable story. If you found this journey meaningful, please like this video and subscribe to the channel for more stories that illuminate faith, redemption, and the enduring power of God's mercy.